How about
Yep.
Mr. Bennett? Can we take up Bennett for sentencing? Do we have I haven't seen that. Did you send that to me, Ms. Cooper, that alcohol and drug?
It's in the
Yeah,
court filing one.
Oh, you told me that. Thank you.
Judge Webster,
Yep.
I'm turning this over to Kim for a moment to take care of
Okay.
a quick problem, and I'll be back in a minute.
Thank you. All right, let's look up Mr. Bennett's alcohol and drug evaluation. It is here. Thank you. All right, we are on the record in 2023 TR 256, State of Kansas versus Michael Denver Bennett. Paul Dean for the state, Mr. Bennett in person with his attorney. And recommendations for sentencing, Mr. Dean.
Your Honor, I would just, let's see. Apologize, I was reviewing the evaluation. This is a plea to driving under the influence, which I believe charged as a first offense. So I would be recommending the statutory minimums in this case, Your Honor, with a 6-month controlling sentence, $750 fine, court cost due to it being a DUI, 12 months of 40 probation, that he could be ordered to pay a booking processing fee, a probation fee, court can inquire as to appointed counsel fee reimbursement, that he be ordered to complete all the recommendations, which appears to be level 1 outpatient treatment to include group and individual sessions, in addition to mental health services, and any other conditions the court may impose in that regard as well, Your Honor. And I'm not certain as we speak whether he's satisfied the mandatory minimum 48 hours, but that should be imposed as well, and that it be served within an appropriate amount of time.
Ms. Cooper?
Your Honor, I make the same recommendations, Your Honor. We are just looking at the 1 count of DUI. This count 2 was dismissed. The recommendations in the report are for level 1 outpatient treatment. So I think that should be a condition of his probation.
And Mr. Dean commented on the 48 hours.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm not sure. Sorry, my screens kind of went haywire on me for a second.
I think we've got a long sheet in here that might clarify that for us.
Do not fall under the changes that allow that to be, that doesn't make that mandatory.
I'm looking at that too, Your Honor. Let's see.
That's, even though it's not necessarily mandatory, that's still my recommendation.
Okay.
However the court likes to proceed.
No, I'm kind of partial to that myself. Sometimes I know.
25th day of March. I'm not seeing when the bond was posted for some reason. I'm not seeing the bond. Let me look at this again.
So, Your Honor, the date of offense is prior to the changes. Date of sentencing is and plea, or well, plea was prior to the changes, but sentencing is, as you know, past the changes. He may have already served that time though, like Mr. Dean said, and I'm trying to figure that out too.
Well, as Mr. Dean says, I don't have to waive it. I mean, I can impose anything.
Right.
6 months.
All right. Looks like he posted bond on May 18th. And the charges were on March 25th, 2023.
I think he was in maybe from the 14th or 15th through the 18th of May.
Mr. Bennett, turn off the music.
Thank you, Sergeant Cordell. I couldn't tell where that was coming from. All right, at this time, Mr. Bennett, you are sentenced to 6 months in the Greenwood County Jail. You are fined $750. You are also assessed $108 in court costs and $45 in booking fees. You will have a $60 supervision fee. Where do you work, sir?
I currently do not.
And why are you not working, sir?
Because you won't let me work at Benny's and just having a hard time finding something else.
I told you you couldn't work at Benny's.
Yes, ma'am.
Remind me why that was.
You said the drinking, it's a bar and
Oh, I told you you couldn't work at a bar.
but I'd just be helping out in the kitchen and cleaning the rooms at Benny's. Was my job.
Okay. All right. I'll waive your attorney fees at this time. Your probation will be for 6 months. It will be supervised by court services.
Your Honor, I'm gonna suggest with the level of fines that the probation should probably be 12 months. I mean, obviously, if he gets everything taken care of.
That's what I meant to say. I apparently.
Okay.
A 12-month supervised court services probation. Call your probation officer immediately after this hearing. And Kim, you probably don't know who his probation officer is going to be, I'm going to guess. Did they tell you that?
No, I don't
Okay.
have that.
All right, well, Mr. Bennett, can you write down a phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
Write down 656. Now that is Carrie Seeley. If she is not your probation officer, she can give you the number to the officer. Call that as soon as this hearing is over. I am ordering that you serve 48 hours in jail. That's
Is-
continuous 48 hours, but you will get credit if you've already served that 48.
Oh. Your Honor, I apologize. We have one other issue to address that just dawned on me. I flipped through the file and there's $400 KBI lab fee as well.
There is a KBI lab fee. All right, you're gonna have a $400 KBI lab fee. You must attend a DUI victim panel. And your probation officer will tell you about that. You must also comply with your recommendations in your drug and alcohol evaluation, which are to complete level 1 outpatient treatment, which will include both group and individual sessions. And that's in addition to your mental health services. I believe that covers everything, but counsel, is there anything I've overlooked or I need to address?
I think we need to address, are we giving him credit for the 48 hours?
If he has it served, he gets credit for it. All standard conditions will apply, Mr. Bennett, and your probation officer will go over those with you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, Shannon. Case caption, night we all appeared, appearances as was stated. Plea was done back on June 23rd of 23. 6 months suspended, 12 months reporting probation, 108 court costs, probation fee of 60, booking processing fee posed at 45, attorney fees waived, 750 on the fine. $400 KBI lab. Other conditions of probation, no law violations, all the conditions that this court typically would give, and just did give, as well as signed probation contract, complete drug and alcohol treatment. And then what did I write here? 10 DUI victim panel, complete level 1 outpatient services, stay compliant with mental health treatment, and defendant. I just went ahead based upon the date of arrest and date of bond, indicated credit for 48 hours time served.
Okay.
It appears he served about already maybe a month of this sentence or close to it.
All
Thank
right, Mr. Bennett, call your probation officer as soon as you leave, and you are excused at this time as we are in recess on your case.
I'm going to add on there, call probation officer immediately.
Is this a good time to ask if I can work at Benny's?
I just added that on there, Shannon.
That looks good. And Judge, I think that's I think it is a good time for him to ask. I don't think there's any restrictions that I've heard placed on him as far as that goes today at sentencing.
Well, Benny's is a bar.
It's just cleaning rooms.
You don't go inside the bar or around the alcohol.
No, if I go inside, it's just in the back in the kitchen.
Your Honor, the state wouldn't necessarily object. Benny's is a bar and grill. I think they probably, well, they comply with 30% food sales, or else they probably wouldn't have a license. And I think that's a generally accepted exception to that, going where alcohol is served if they also serve food. Obviously, the rules are the rules, though.
Well, check with your probation officer. If the probation officer's okay with it, then I would approve it.
I'm just going to add on again, probation officer may authorize employment at Benny's.
As long as he's away from the alcohol.
I read it to you. I just also added to stay away from the alcohol there at the very bottom. If you can see that on Shannon. Maybe employed at Benny's, stay away from the alcohol. The probation officer may authorize. Let me just read it to you. Probation officer may authorize employment at Benny's, but he must stay away from it.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, we're now, Mr. Bennett, you're excused to go and call you can hang up and call your probation officer.
Okay. Have a good day, y'all.
Thank you.